Broadcasting from WRAM Studios at Portage Middle School in Fort Wayne, Indiana. As a part of Fort Wayne Community Schools, this is the Reliable RAM Review. Brought to you by the TV broadcasting program WRAM and featuring the most relevant, up-to-date, and important information at Portage Middle School. This is your Reliable RAM Review.
Hello, this is Mr. Christner, principal for Portage Middle School, and I wanted to come back and give you all a big thank you for all of your effort on iLearn testing. For the last couple of weeks, we've been doing our math, language, and science iLearn testing, and at this point we are, for the most part, done with the exception of a few makeup tests. In a couple of months we should receive our scores, and we are hopeful that with the effort that was given on iLearn this year, that we will see a significant increase in our proficiency rates for math and language. So I do again want to thank all of the parents for getting students to school on time so students could take iLearn. We want to thank students for being here every day, and most of all I want to thank everybody for giving their best effort on iLearn testing this year.
Hi, I'm Navy Romero. I'm here with Miss North, and this is this week's teacher feature. So, Miss North, what subject do you teach?
I teach 8th grade math.
And how long have you been teaching?
This is my 5th year at Portage. I was subbing at Fort Wayne Community Schools for 3 years before that, and I taught preschool for, I think, 2.5 years before that.
And what really made you want to become a teacher?
That's sort of a long story. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was a theater major in college, and then I went to law school because this is sort of ironic. You'd think I would have figured out earlier that I wanted to be a teacher, because I went to law school because I really liked school. So I wanted to continue being in school, and I didn't know what I wanted to do next, so I thought that would put me in a new, it would basically tell me what to do next. So I was a lawyer, never loved it, it was okay. It was a lot easier than being a middle school math teacher. But I never loved it and was fulfilled by it. So everybody in my department, because it was a title insurance company at the time that I worked for. So we all handled real estate, and there was a big crash, if you're not aware. There was a huge housing market crash in around 2009 or so. And so they laid everybody off, and I took quite a while to decide what I wanted to do next, because I still have law school debt. Didn't want to make sort of another career mistake. So that's why I started with preschool, because my daughter was in preschool at the time, and I did that for a few years, and then decided I would like to work with older kids. So then I subbed for 3 years after that, and after a year I decided this is what I would like to do. So I started a transition to teaching program. If you already have a college degree, you can go back and you don't have to redo college. You just take about 1.5 years worth of classes, and then you can be licensed to be a teacher.
So you went on an incredibly long occupational journey to
Yes.
find out, what you really wanted to become.
Right.
At least you're here now. So you worked all of those occupations. Which one was your favorite?
Being a middle school teacher is definitely my favorite, even though it is the hardest and the most frustrating. Right after, during the first year that I was teaching, the people would ask me, well, how do you like being a teacher? Because they knew I had not been a full-time teacher before. And they would say, do you like it? And especially the first year, I kind of felt like, I don't exactly like it, but I kind of feel like I love it. I feel like it matters. To me, that was important. To me, feeling like what I was doing made a difference for somebody, and that it mattered, who I was. I always felt like at my lawyer job that if I disappeared, they would just replace me with another lawyer, and it would make no difference to anyone. And as a teacher, I feel like it would actually matter if I was suddenly replaced by somebody else, because it kind of matters who I am. So this is the one that I enjoy the most. So I'm really glad that this is where I ended up.
Yeah. We're glad to have you at Portage.
Thank you.
And going back to when you stated you had liked going to school, which was one of your favorite subjects in school?
Well, I would say English and math were my top two favorites. Probably in school, English was my favorite. Math I was good at, but it wasn't as interesting to me. But when I decided to become a teacher, I'm like, the math feels, I don't know, more cut and dried to teach. Like it's wrong or right. So I'm just going to go with this instead of overthinking it like I tend to do everything.
And another thing you contribute to at Portage is a club. Which club do you do?
I have the games club. It started out, it was the D&D club, but then a lot of people wanted to do games and not necessarily D&D. So we have some people doing D&D, some people doing Pokemon, and some people just playing board games or whatever. Sometimes we end up, their board game finished and everybody ends up playing a Kahoot together or a Gimkit or some other game.
So I'm Nivea Romero. This is Miss North, and this was this week's Teacher Feature.
Hello, this is Mr. Christner, principal for Portage Middle School, and I wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk about some expectations that have been long-standing at Portage Middle School, and not just at Portage, but of all schools that I'm aware of, but I just want to make sure that we are meeting these expectations as we get into the last few weeks of school. So you've heard me thousands of times ask everybody to keep their hands, feet, objects, and everything to themselves in all school areas. So this means in the cafeteria, the classroom, the hallway, the restroom, and even in other school areas like the bus and the bus stop. So leading up to spring break and just after, we had a significant increase in students playing around and putting hands on each other. And so I just want to take this time to make sure that we are still meeting that expectation, because I don't want to be in a situation where we're having to do suspensions or putting anybody out of school for any amount of time. So again, the expectation is and always will be to keep your hands, feet, objects, and everything else to yourselves at all times in all school areas. And again, that means when you're in the school building and even on the bus and at the bus stop. So I do thank you for meeting these expectations. I know that as the weather gets warmer and as we get closer to the end of school, sometimes it's easy to, I guess for lack of a better word, forget what we are here for, but we want to continue to work hard and put ourselves in the best situation possible to be as ready as possible for whatever next year brings. So whether it's our 8th graders going on to high school or our 6th and 7th graders becoming 7th and 8th graders next year, we want to make sure that we are doing everything that we can academically and behaviorally to prepare ourselves for next year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Bailey. I'm the volleyball coach here at Portage Middle School. We will have open gyms every Wednesday from 3:30 to 4:30 in the main gym. If you have questions regarding these open gyms, please contact me. I'm in room 254. If you're interested in playing next season, please ensure that you're getting good grades and attendance from here until the rest of the school year so that you're eligible for the season next year. Thanks.
Hello, this is Mr. Christner. I'm the principal at Portage Middle School, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about an opportunity that we're going to have this summer. We're going to have a unique opportunity at Portage for Portage students only to attend summer school. We're going to do this differently than we ever have before. It's going to be a fun lab setting. We're going to have small class sizes. The largest class size would be 18 or fewer students. We're going to have you here for just a limited time. We've done things differently in the past. We've had students here all day for multiple weeks at a time. So we'll have students here the last 2 weeks of June on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the middle 2 weeks of July on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you'll only be here from 8:30 to 11:30. We'll be focusing specifically on math, language arts, and then we'll have a PE and social emotional learning lesson as well. So again, you'll be here for 3 hours. You'll get breakfast, lunch. We're going to do a very intense summer program to try to make sure that our math lab and Read 180 are set and ready to go when we come back in August. So this will be for our incoming 6th graders, so students who are just finishing 5th grade, and our 6th and 7th graders who are going to be in 7th and 8th grade next year. So we have a limited number of spaces available. We have approximately 108 spaces available, and we are expecting that to fill up fairly quickly. But it should be a fun opportunity, and it should give students a jump start on being ready to go for next year. And again, we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we are getting students high school, college, and career ready. So that's going to be the focus of what we're doing in summer school. Thank you, and I hope to see you here this summer.